In a world where everyone pushes its own narrative, some celebrities aren't afraid to stand their ground and fight back. Streaming services got a nasty surprise when Ricky Gervais took the Golden Globes stage, roasting them for pushing performative agendas while relying on behind-the-scenes exploitation.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable.
Tim Cook's face said it all, but he wasn't the only CEO in the hot seat that night.
Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. Come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and...
Turns out Ricky came with enough ammo to take down everyone in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino wasn't shy about roasting Hollywood for swapping real filmmaking for agenda pushing in an interview with Bill Maher.
Ideology is more important than art.
Way more, certainly to the awards.
Yeah. And it's just, it's like, ideology trumps art. Ideology trumps individual effort. Ideology trumps good. Ideology trumps entertaining.
There's two kinds of movies, virtue signalers and superhero movies.
Tarantino openly says he doesn't aim to please everyone. With his movies, he's just trying to tell what he believes is a good story. But he does see a silver lining, saying this current trend is just a phase that will eventually pass.
It comes in waves. This absolutely comes in waves, all right? So it's like, okay, just looking at the 40s, all right, that was during the wartime, but that's also the time that you had film noir. You had these dark, dark stories that were being told. But then after the war was won, then you had the 50s, which was the first of the completely homogenized decades, where you couldn't say if you had a mouthful. If there was anything sexual about it or anything, that's all going to be drained out of the movie. And then, to me, it's one of the worst decades in Hollywood is the 50s. And the 60s was the 50s part 2. Right. But then what we think of as the 60s starts in about 67, and that's when New Hollywood
Bonnie
comes out. Yeah. And that's an absolute positive response to the homogenized 50s.
It's also very impressive to see how well informed is Tarantino on the history of filmmaking. Morgan Freeman isn't a fan of Black History Month, believing it should be recognized as part of American history, not condensed into a single month. So when an interviewer challenged his views, Freeman didn't hesitate to shut it down.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month?
I'm Jewish.
Okay. Which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh. Why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it.
This goes to show that even when Morgan's schooling you, he does it with so much grace, you'd almost thank him for the lesson. While many celebrities are PR trained to give polished answers, Bill Burr clearly missed that memo when asked if women can be funny.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course.
Some people have a hard time saying yes, though. There are a lot of angry young men on the internet that are like, women can't be fun.
Will you guys just grow up and just sit down and write your own horse and come up with it? Start your own show, have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do for you. That's the problem. If you guys had your own big club and I was standing outside of it, you'd never let me in.
While Burr was being a bit harsh, the reporter did throw him a loaded question.
Whether you got a dick or a all right? Just do what the fuck you want to do and hopefully people respond to it. But this horse quotas and all of this crap just become undeniable.
Shortly after NFL athletes took a knee to protest systemic racism, Lil Wayne was asked about the move in what would become the most controversial interview of his career.
I have no opinion on it because the things I'm not into it enough to even give an opinion.
Where are we in the United States of America in race relations and what you see from day to day in your life?
They wouldn't want my answer to represent it because God knows I have been nothing but blessed. I have never, never is a strong word, I've never dealt with racism, and I'm glad I didn't have to. Not only did I thought it was over, I still believe it's over, but obviously it isn't.
Even after explaining he wasn't an expert on the topic due to his unique life experiences, the host pushed further, asking how he felt performing for a non-diverse audience.
You told me the only black face you could see in the whole audience was your makeup artist. A lot of white kids love rap.
Yes.
Explain that.
I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism. That's what I thought that was.
Okay, I
But
got
that
it.
was a perfect example.
The interview went viral, sparking backlash from both fans and the media. In a later interview, when the topic came up again, Wayne eventually got fed up and walked off.
Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matters, especially to my
He ended our interview angrily.
politician.
Lil Wayne later explained he felt that the media was twisting his words, and that politics just isn't his thing. Ricky Gervais didn't expect to be called sexist on The View, for what seemed like one of the most bizarre reasons. They argued that his HBO comedy special was sexist, simply because none of the 4 comedians were women.
Louis C.K. No women comedians on that panel?
Who would you replace?
I don't know which
Replace or add?
No, because it was 4 people.
it's just 4 people.
Yeah, so who would you take off?
I wouldn't. I would just add.
There you go. No, exactly. They're my friends, and I chose my friends. Oh, and also, men are intimidated by funny women, so we didn't want them in the room.
Is that right?
That's a joke.
Ricky, trying to keep it light, explained that they were his closest friends, and cracked a little joke to diffuse the tension. But the hosts weren't having it and doubled down.
Jerry Lewis famously said at one point that he didn't think women were funny. Do you think women are funny?
What's the difference? That's ridiculous.
It's a different sensibility.
Statistically, less women go into stand-up from what I've seen, so there's probably less to choose from. But yeah, there are loads of funny women. I've worked with loads of funny women. Of course I have. There's loads of funny women here.
Luckily, they eventually changed the subject, and that awkwardness was never mentioned again. During a BBC interview, a reporter got caught in a lie when he claimed his Twitter feed was getting more hateful. But when Elon Musk asked for an example, the reporter admitted he hadn't even been on Twitter lately.
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples.
Personally, my For You, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second. You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see that hateful content? You just lied.
What? No.
Actually said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
that's absurd.
It seems that the interviewer didn't do much preparation, instead just came with some gotcha questions and called it a day. Pharrell Williams found himself in hot water over his song Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke, specifically the controversial lyric I Know You Want It. When a reporter tried to corner him about it, Pharrell gave a totally reasonable explanation.
It meant that she's a good girl, and even good girls have bad thoughts. Hence the term blurred lines. So when you're hungry, and I can tell you're hungry, and I say, I know you want it, does that mean I'm going to you?
Well, you know,
don't answer the question. You got to be fair.
That's a clever.
But
a clever way of
I'm
putting
not.
it, but
I'm
I
not
think
trying to
in
be.
context, it
I'm
was
not trying to
sexual.
be. No, it wasn't.
But the real kicker came when the interviewer got outplayed by Pharrell in a segment that was originally cut from the interview.
Do you have a significant other?
Yes.
Okay. Are there ever times where you have naughty thoughts?
Who's doing this interview?
No. Let's not get off of it. Let's be fair.
I would never answer a question like that.
You would never answer a question like that. And that's why that song needs to exist. You love your significant other, but you can't even say out loud that sometimes you have naughty thoughts.
You don't know I have naughty thoughts. But anyway, we're getting off the point.
Wait, but I asked you though. You can be a man and ask me about what my intentions were. Why can't I ask you what your intentions are?
Because I'm the interviewer and you're the interviewee, and everybody's interested in you, the global superstar.
Right, and if they're interested in me,
the television
if they're interested in me, then they would want to hear what I think.
Maybe it was just a case of people with sneaky intentions, assuming everyone else had sneaky intentions. During an interview shortly after Mike Tyson met with the mayor, a reporter suggested that Tyson's past convictions could hurt the mayor's re-election campaign.
Some of your critics would say, there's a race for mayor. We know you were convicted. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, right, and nothing they can do about it.
Mike clearly tried to brush it off, but that wasn't happening that day.
Life, highs and lows.
It's so interesting because you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey,
with that
come
comment.
on.
No, that was a piece of you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV.
Man, I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. You know.
To be fair, Tyson did his time and has been widely seen as fully reformed. But some people just can't let the past stay in the past, which upset Tyson. Matthew McConaughey took his talents to the White House, delivering a powerful speech on better healthcare and sensible gun laws, including background checks.
We need to invest in mental health care. We need to restrain sensationalized media coverage. We need to restore our family values. We need responsible gun ownership. Responsible gun ownership. We need background checks.
It was a solid, level-headed speech, but when he hit The View, they tried to twist his words, asking him how his political dreams would survive his anti-gun stance in Texas, which he's not anti-gun, he's just for some common sense laws.
Do you think you could get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about if me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is be playing a game that I'm not interested in playing.
Okay,
to give you a direct statement right there.
Joy Behar quickly realized she stepped into it and gracefully backed away from the argument. Joan Rivers sat down with CNN to promote her new book, but the interview kicked off with a shot at her for harshly criticizing celebrities' fashion choices.
Really? It's not mean. We're one of the few shows that says, that's an ugly dress. And that's okay. These ladies make $28 million a picture. You really think Nicki Minaj cares I didn't like her dress?
Things really hit the fan when the host took it a step further, calling her out for wearing a fur coat on her book cover. Joan, who's not one to back down, fired right back and eventually stormed out.
On the cover of your book, you're wearing a fur, and you knew that there would probably be animal rights activists.
You know, this whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yes,
shut up.
I'm talking.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear. You wear fur that was killed 15 years ago. I work for animal rights. Stop it with, and you do this, and you're mean, and you're that. You are not the one to interview a person who does humor. Sorry.
Are we serious?
Jim Carrey shocked the world during a Jimmy Kimmel interview when he repeatedly flashed a hand signal, claiming Jimmy was in on it.
You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is.
While many assumed he was poking fun at internet conspiracy theories, on the years that followed, Jim Carrey started sending strong messages against Hollywood, most notoriously at the New York Fashion Week, in which he called the entire industry meaningless.
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join. And here I am.
With him taking fewer film roles and his outspoken stance, we're probably not expecting to see him on the big screen anytime soon. A$AP Rocky was invited to speak at the Oxford Union, where things took a weird turn, when a student called him out for his portrayal of women in his songs.
A lot of your music is quite crude about women, so do you think that your music isolates women and prevents us from listening to your music compared to men?
Yeah, because I do it to men too.
You do it too?
It isolates men too. I don't discriminate. Yeah, at times. How many songs you hear? I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. It's the same thing. Fuck you dudes. Da, da, da. It's just that we diss men all the time. Is this about is this like a woman, justice thing about Rita or something like that?
A$AP kept it cool and professional, but the students soon realized that rappers might actually be really good with words.
At the end of the day, I'm not here to talk about the difference between bitches and women.
Am I a bitch or a woman?
I don't know you well enough to tell.
The student gracefully excused herself and everyone left happy, except maybe her.
I know you're a bitch. You was supposed to say I'm a bad bitch. See, that's what I'm saying.